Ziggity Zig talking his way to bronze game number 97 between myself, Zig down here in the bottom, and Third Pounder. It's apparently on his third try of pounding over here on Ohana LE, which is a two-player map, which is I don't know, it's a little bit easier. And there's the politeness that comes out of this guy, so I think, alright, that's fair enough. At that point, I decided to stop trying to communicate. Maybe he's having a hard time and not really enjoying himself against Protoss these days. So, based on something I got out of SC2 Mistakes, if you check out SC2 Mistakes on YouTube, was that yes, you don't want to wall off against everybody, but a pylon at your gate is a free scout. That was pretty sagely advice. I do enjoy that advice. So that is now what I'm going to try to do every now and then. And that gives me just a free scout at my gate so I know if anything's coming up. If I look at the minimap, of course. Derp. So let's have a look and see what I'm spotting here. And my probe's coming up the hill. Spot no expansion. Spot a barracks. Not all that much going on. Pretty basic stuff. Nothing there. No gas. And no gas. Alright, cool. So I believe what I do there is I wander over here to this area just to get out of the way. So I sneak out of his base. I think I get... No, I don't get shot at. That's cool. So I wander over to the corner so I can have a little bit of an in. Meanwhile, gateway coming down. And this is something that I've been working on for quite some time. This has pretty much been my most recent build, and this is just what I do. I have started checking and just making sure that I get my 3-gate robo going, but in a certain order. I try to get gate, and then after the initial gateway, I get the robotics bay, which I really enjoy getting the fast observer out so I can scout a bit better, because this is about as far forward as I can get my scout at the moment. And the other thing I get is my immortals out a little faster. Now, I'm not sure what kind of tech he's going, you know, at this point, but the bonus there is when I send out the observer, I can start scouting, and then I build an immortal right behind it. If it's a lot of banshees, then I don't bother with the immortals anymore. I think I usually get one more observer, and then I just go into as many stalkers as I can, maybe a cannon or two, but just try to go on a little bit of a defensive against cloaked banshees. Is a bit of a setback, and there's probably more or less defensive, possibly more aggressive ways of dealing with it, but that's just how I deal with it myself. Usually, yeah, close to around now is probably when I'd want to be having another look, and look at that, I decide to have a look anyway. So I bring up my probe to see what might be waiting for me at the top. And I'm waiting to see what I see. Oh, yeah, there we go. So, there it is. Gate, followed by Robo. And up at the top of the ramp, I see a tech lab. And a tech lab. So, double tech lab on 2 barracks. So, that says to me, you know what? I'm going to keep going with my cool, awesome idea. I should be ready for my 2... Wow, why am I not making any... Why am I not researching warp at the moment? Wow, that took a while. Wow, that took a while. But logically and coincidentally, I do manage to get the 3 barracks up and ready, so they can be just about ready to go if I stay on top of chrono boosting the warp gate. Out goes the observer. A little faster right now. So I have plenty of scout right now. I have scout on my ramp, scout at the top, scout at his 3rd, and a small army. So let's see how the army's working out. He is ahead of me in army, and he's actually ahead of me in worker supply. My macro really slipping here. Oh yeah, so I was feeling a bit derpy, mostly because I did not have the units I was hoping to have. I keep forgetting to make units do things that I want to do. So out comes the immortal. I try to get a few immortals as I go. I am totally falling off the wagon on worker supply. Luckily, he's not doing anything on worker supply either. So because my APM is stuck on a flat 16, which is useless. waiting for my warp gate to finish. My first immortal is just about ready. In comes the observer to have a peek. Got an immortal lined up right after it. And let's see what the observer sees.
Research complete.
Welly, 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 well. 3 barracks with tech lab. There's a factory. I think, did I see him starting? No, I didn't see it yet, but heavy, heavy, heavy marauder play. So I think at this point I start slightly concerning myself about maybe getting out, or at least chrono boosting the immortals, because if he's got that many marauders, you want to be a bit speedier about it. In the meantime, however, what I decide to do is one of those. So, and then I forgot that I accidentally had this probe set to control group 1 still. So he comes down here and gets ready to build me another pylon. I'm kind of staying on top of my pylons at the moment. This guy was even with me, and he was a top 8 bronze. So, and the game before that, well, I'll cast the other game that I managed to lose. So my observer sitting up here did not just notice that all the marauders basically left. I am no longer controlling a tower, which is because I'm an idiot. I am still not quite... Oh. Yeah. Not quite saturated on the main, which is why I can't quite get up the expansion yet. At 9 minutes, still no expansion. I really need to work on keeping up the macro, but I guess I was a little bit worried about what I was about to face. So I wanted to have a couple of sentries. Here they come. So I'm kind of ready for this. Probe goes in, and I managed to... It takes a couple tries, but I do manage to slice up his army, cut it in half, take out one half, not worry about the other. Not losing all that much there. Units lost. There we go. 2. Works for me. Keep a few more immortals going.
Shadows.
Keep up with the units. I now outnumber him. My worker supply is a bit better. So I decided to go on the offensive since that seemed to go well. Try to move out, get a little bit of vision. See what I can see. I take my observer in once more, and I get a starport with a reactor. So I think, oh good, I don't need to worry about banshees. All he's doing there is he's just worrying about being defensive. And he's still going with the marauders. So I think, well, that's cool, because I am continuing with my immortals. I have 3 at the moment. 4th one will be coming out. Get a few more sentries, because the Guardian Shield and the Force Field are really helping against these marauders, just to get them pegged into a corner. So Force Field and Guardian Shield is quite helpful in this instance. Now, I'm totally forgetting about this forward pylon for now, but don't worry about that. Because for right now, my observer is keeping an eye on the expansion. I finally do get an expansion up here. Check that out, at 11 minutes. So as far as the income goes, he is doing much better than me, probably because of some mules going on there. I continue to wait around mostly because this is when I start flubbing up that I can't make anymore because I'm pretty much pylon blocked, which sort of sucks. I don't think I work on any more. So I decided, well, let's go for a little poke. I'm pretty lucky because I am still ahead in army supply, but he is now ahead in worker supply. They. Almost said he. Not good. Try to remain unisex on this. So over he goes. I'm coming in, still keeping an eye on this enormous army, and I start sort of worrying about what I can do about this. So then I try something different. I think, wait a minute, my observer has sight over here where I can warp things in, which I don't think he can see. So I send these guys in. I don't do an A move, I just decide, hop over here, get in his face. At the same time I'm getting in his face, I come up the hill. And I put down a few confusing force fields. He gets a little twitchy. He doesn't realize that at the exact same time I'm attacking him, I'm taking out his entire mineral line. So I managed to do a little bit of a two-pincer, not really a pincer, just sort of 2 things at once. So I managed to distract him. And then, since I took out everyone else, I decided, well, why don't you guys just head straight up into his other mineral line. And Third Pounder says, I'm all out of marauders, yo. I'm leaving. And he leaves. So not bad. Aside from the fact that I was over an average of 21 APM, his was way higher than me. His income was about on par. I was floating quite a few minerals by the end of it. I could have been reinforcing myself a bit more. Yep, there's my probe. Where's he? Probe's still there. I think I was trying to get a pylon up there, but I was sort of moving my units as a large group of one at the same time. But regardless, you can leave me a comment, send me an email, ziggyzik@gmail.com, or you can follow me on Twitter at ZiggyStarCraft. Stay tuned.